Have you ever known with absolute certainty that a situation was wrong, but the people involved flatly refused to accept the truth?
Maya, I am just telling you what is actually happening.
This family is falling apart because everyone is obsessed with the anger they watch on their screens all day.
You act like a criminal just for questioning us, Arthur. You think you know more than the rest of us? We know exactly how the world works.
We hear these painful stories every single day. A 58-year-old homemaker confesses that speaking the truth angers her family, but staying silent destroys her peace. A retired senior citizen laments that after moving in with his children, he is treated like an offender simply for offering basic life advice to his granddaughter. Why do we become so biased in our opinions that we violently turn a blind eye to the truth? The answer lies deep in human psychology and within a philosophical masterpiece written around 400 BC called The Republic, authored by Plato. To understand the tragic mental state of those trapped in false beliefs, Plato asks us to imagine a dark, underground cave. Since birth, a group of prisoners has been chained to a wall in total darkness. They are bound so tightly they cannot even turn their heads. Far behind them burns a large fire. Between this fire and the prisoners, unseen people walk by, holding up wooden shapes of animals and objects, casting giant shadows onto the wall directly in front of the captives.
Look, Kael! The black shadow horse is coming. Listen closely for the rooster's crow.
You are so wise, Thorne. You always predict the shadows perfectly. Fire is truly the only source of light in the entire universe.
Over the years, these captives have become habituated to this illusion. They believe the shadows are absolute reality. The most ignorant among them, who can best memorize the sequence of the shadows, is crowned their brilliant leader. But then, one day, Kael's chains miraculously break. He wanders past the fire and steps out of the cave. At first, he is blinded by a celestial body he has never comprehended, the sun. As his eyes adjust, he sees real, green grass. He sees vibrant flowers, and for the first time in his life, he sees millions of magnificent colors.
My entire existence was a lie. The horse is not a flat shadow on a wall. It is white, it is brown, and it does not make the sound of a rooster.
When a core belief shatters, the human mind experiences intense cognitive dissonance. This is where ego and logic violently collide. If a person's ego is immense, they will reject the new truth even when it is staring them in the face. But Kael is moved by humanity. Armed with the truth, he eagerly descends back into the black abyss of the cave to save his captive brothers. As Kael plunges back into the absolute darkness, his eyes, now adapted to the brilliant sun, can no longer see the shadows on the wall. Blinded by the dark, he stumbles, falls hard, and shatters his knees against the stone floor.
Thorne! Brothers! Let me cut your chains. We have been terribly fooled. The real world is outside. Light comes from a glorious sun, not that pitiful fire. Look at you, Kael, babbling like a lunatic. The outside world has ruined you. Your eyes are broken, you cannot stand, and your mind is completely gone. Please, Thorne, you must believe me. Come with me. This dark cave is nothing in front of real world. If you try to touch our chains, we will end you. We were born in this cave, and this is the real world.
They brutally mock him, beat him, and refuse to step into the light. But in reality, they were not beating Kael, they were killing their bright future. This allegory was written nearly 2,400 years ago, yet it perfectly diagnoses our modern society today. The cave is social media. When you endlessly scroll through algorithmic feeds, you are staring at the shadows on the wall. If you watch a video claiming that all men are betrayers, or all women are deceitful, the algorithm traps you. It rains down identical ideological shadows until you are convinced the entire world is dark and treacherous. Your active brain shuts down, replaced by passive consumption. Through a psychological process called mirror neurons, our brains blindly copy the toxic behaviors we watch. This fuels the repetition theory. If you repeat a lie 1,000 times, the masses will accept it as absolute truth. There's a massive corporate conspiracy thriving on this exact dynamic. When families fracture, when arguments sever the bond between grandparents and children, one household splits into 4 separate households. Consumerism explodes. Your community, your trust, and your fundamental humanity are the primary targets of these algorithms.
So how do I save them? How do I pull my family out of this digital echo chamber without destroying myself?
You must first learn to identify who is helplessly chained in the cave. Psychology offers 4 severe red flags. First, their identity is tied entirely to their degrees, job titles, or status, rather than their humanity. Second, their ego is so fragile that correcting them feels like a physical attack. Third, their personal ego is far bigger than logic. They believe something is a fact simply because they said it. And fourth, they exhibit extreme toxicity toward anyone trying to tell the truth. If a person displays at least 2 of these 4 flags, they are a chained prisoner. Do not aggressively force them out, or you will only get your own knees scraped and your character assassinated. Remember, Plato's own student, Socrates, was forced to drink poison precisely for trying to wake up the people in the cave. You cannot forcefully enlighten everyone. Instead, abandon the echo chamber yourself. Protect your own peace. Gently share your light in small doses, and hope that one day their eyes might finally open and always maintain the humblest philosophy of all. I know that I do not know.